Robert Burns is still celebrated to this day, and his work is still considered important because for Scots I think he represents so much of what they would like the world to believe of them and what they'd like to believe of themselves. He was a Democrat, he was egalitarian, he was a self-made son of the soil, and I think in those respects he's a very modern character actually, even though he's several centuries old and in the grave. In Scotland, poetry has a very special status. I would argue that it's our chief art. I mean, that's why we have a Scottish Poetry Library to this day. It's a testament to the part poetry's played in our national life, past and present. If you look at Burns's poetry, the poetry he wrote in his own day, the themes and the subjects that he was exploring are still themes and subjects that poets are exploring to this very day, and it's amazing the way in which contemporary poets have picked up the baton that Burns laid down for them. This is a wonderful period in which to be working at the Scottish Poetry Library because we're currently experiencing a golden generation of Scottish poets. There's so many marvellous names I could mention at this point: Don Patterson, Liz Lockhead, Jackie Kay, Kathleen Jamie, Christine DeLuca. They're all wonderful poets, and one of the reasons I think there's a continuity between them and Burns is that they explore so many of the same themes, so many of the same subjects. There's a real engagement with language, Scottish language. There's a real engagement with the landscape. These poets continually keep coming back to the Scottish people themselves, their humour, their earthiness, their ordinariness. There's also a younger generation, a fresh generation of Scots poets who are coming up to now as well. And I think in the next few years you'll see them coming more to public prominence, and you'll see that they too are writing poems very much in the Burns mould. The last time that there was such a period of popularity for the spoken word was in the mid to late 1970s, with the first failed devolution vote taking place in the backdrop. And I don't think it's any coincidence that if you look at that period and now, what they have in common is that there are periods of upheaval, and that there are periods in which Scots are being asked to think about who they are and who they want to be in the world at large. I think if Burns was alive today, he'd be in his element. He himself, during his own lifetime, wrote against a backdrop of great upheaval. The French Revolution caused great upset on the continent and within the UK and Scotland too. And I think that if you look at what's happening today, there's a real reflection in what happened in Burns' own day. And it's really heartening to see these young poets who are coming to the fore, not being afraid to tackle politics directly in the same direct and unpretentious way that Burns did himself.